of your children. Let's talk about the discrimination, saying no to discrimination, placing focus on how children should access quality education, and basically all things to do with bettering the life of a young person, a child. And in this case, we can also talk about drug and substance abuse, which is one of the, can I say, pandemics that has been attacking the young people. And that's where we're also going to talk about the development of the child, which is something you can definitely look forward to. And looking at 2024, the celebrations are taking place in the resort town of Victoria Falls, where the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, His Excellency Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, is going to preside over the event as the guest of honor. But I'm sure that right now, I was just talking about development of the child, and then you're wondering, what exactly am I talking about? And that's why we are joined by Mrs. Kudzai Ishehove, who specializes in the development of children. He was a child development specialist rather, and we're going to be enlightened. Is there a difference between development of a child and growth? These are some of the things that we always wonder. Thank you so much for just coming through and making time for us, Mrs. Kudzai Ishe.
So honored to be here today and excited to be speaking with you today.
All right, thank you so much once again.
Yes.
All right, so just getting into it, what are the key developmental milestones that parents should look for in children? Usually, you know, when people are growing up, we're looking at the height.
Yes.
Maybe when you knew 1 + 1, we're now looking at, do you know 20 + 20?
Yes. Yes.
And that's what we call development, that's what we call growth. But I understand there's a difference between the two. Can you just enlighten us on some of those things?
Thank you, Tona. So what you just highlighted is extremely important. Height, addition, subtraction, etc. All these areas fall into specific categories that caregivers and parents need to look out for. So let me start off with the physical development of a child. It's extremely important from the day that they come out of the womb and join us in the world. So from crawling to sitting to running to jumping, skipping, these are all important physical developmental milestones. As a caregiver, it's very important for you to be aware what stage is my child at this point in time. For example, is my baby a 3-month-old baby? What should they be doing in terms of their physical development, developmental milestones? Or am I dealing with a toddler that's 5? So obviously the expectations would be different for the different age groups. So right now I've touched on the physical development. We also have the cognitive skills that we look out for. Again, they're also important from birth right up until we graduate and start working. So for example, when we're looking at the cognitive skills, we're dealing with how do we think, how do we solve problems, and all of this starts from the moment that we enter this world. So once again, as I've highlighted before, the way a 3-month-year-old baby would tackle a problem and the way a toddler would tackle a problem would be totally different. However, it's important at each stage to acknowledge that our children are actually using their thinking skills from the time that they're young.
Wow. Okay, it's actually deeper than I thought.
Yes, it's deeper. Yes.
That most of the time
I could spend the whole morning talking about it. It's very deep.
No, because this is just the World Day of Children.
Yes.
Definitely, we have to be talking about all of that. So thank you so much for just talking about that.
Yes.
But then we're going to come back to this conversation because I have more things to be asking about this.
Okay,
thank
perfect.
You so much
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so yes, you see what I was talking about, that there's more to when we talk about development, when we talk about growth. But I'm sure that just like me, you're just as curious and can't wait to see what's actually happening on the ground at Baobab Primary School, where the proceedings are taking place. And we've got Kim, Suanda, and Wengani who are actually on standby there. So let's just see what we've got.
It's a very, very good morning to you from the mighty Victoria Falls right here where I am standing at the gateway of the Victoria Falls. So today is going to be a beautiful day. But before I get into today, I want to tell you that yesterday was such an amazing day where we had junior golfers from all the provinces across the country, 4 golfers from each province to be exact, coming together, and also our member states from the SADC region also brought in their junior golfers to go at it at the golf course. Those winners were celebrated in style well at the dinner that was held by our First Lady, and it was something to talk about. And should I even talk about the dinner? So delicious that I'm sure you'd wish you were there. And this morning, just to tell you that we marched through the town to just commemorate and say, yes, as the children, we are here on World Children's Day to say our rights must be heard, our rights must be implemented, and we must enjoy them. And one of the things that we are going to be enjoying is a whole day of celebrations, where Bengani is standing by from the venue, where His Excellency Dr. Emerson Mnangagwa will be coming through to address the thousands of children that have come from across the country to hear what he has to say and what he's going to promise us, as well as the other SADC heads that are there with them. So this is something that you don't want to miss. And definitely, while that's happening, I'll be coming back to show you everything that's happening in the Victoria Falls. There's helicopters in the sky. There's art to be seen. But for now, we are going to be crossing over to Bengani, who's on standby at the venue, which is the Baobab Primary School, where everything is happening. So don't worry. After Bengani finishes with that, I definitely will be coming back to show you more.
Taboka Kimsbanda atiriko makamo yokuno ku Baobab Primary ku chino timba kunabusibu notinira makamo yokuno akushantirwa izuba lya World Children's Day. Izuba yeri likumushantirwa pasipo nshoro wenyaya unoti iwo educate and skill the African child for posterity. Yopati kumuti mwana ngepiwa bumija n'oluzibo lwacho shingisa mangwana untungamira shango Komande Emerson Mnangagwa ndibo bakumulingirwa kuti bano tungamira bulongwa bwa nasi Sapolo Zimbabwe singapa emosi oya tunya esikolo se Baobab alapo umongameli welizo Komande Emerson Mnangagwa akangelo khona ukuthi akhokhele uhlelo lokunanza ilanga labantwana abancane lilanga eliqhakathekileyo sibona kanje abantwana bagcwele sebebuthene abantwana bavela ezabelweni ezilithumi zelizwe